A surface which, as we've said, is very nice to bat on.
She's always looked comfortable ever since her debut last season. Slightly back of the length, and Vitani can only drive to mid-off. She came in last season in what was one of Yorkshire's toughest games in their Tier 2 campaign against Middlesex at Headingley, a week after Middlesex had beaten Yorkshire by 10 wickets in the T20 last League 2 final. And in the Metrobank One Day Cup, she took 1 for 39 off her 10 and got 30 as well with the bat. I know even some of Yorkshire's own
Here we go, quarterfinals number 4. UAE have won the toss. They're going to bowl first.
That's very nice lines. That's exactly the area that Blackwell will fancy herself to Vitani here.
The one thing that always gets me as well about Inez is just how comfortable she looks. For such a young bowler, 16 years of age, completely calm, completely in control. And as a captain, I mean, Winfield Hill completely backs her, regardless of the situation. So again, a nice testing delivery to the left-handed Vitani. Just runs it down towards deep third, and that will be a single to round out the over. Hampshire 79 for 3 after 19, but even back to those early days in the Tier 2 team in 2025, I can't really recall an instance where you've gone, well, Inez looks at a place here. She has slotted in seamlessly, and that step up from Tier 2 to Tier 1 is not something to be glossed over.
Yeah, and another interesting thing is she wasn't by any means the first Yorkshire player to get their chance. She had to wait until August. There was quite a few others that were slightly sort of ahead of the queue of her in some senses. I mean, there's also the fact that in terms of school and exams and availability, that's also been a bit of a factor. And cut straight to the aforementioned Blackwell at point. Bit of a star of the future, but also quickly becoming a star of the now as well.
That one's swept away by Vitani. Just beats the effort there of Grace Hall. Will at least be a single, or stay a single. Vitani just had a little bit of a slip down the non-striker's end. I do like these fields that Jonathan is setting, though. The fact that you've got Campbell and Hall so in close in the 25-yard circle. So McCracken advances to meet the pitch of that latest delivery. It's very attacking. And of course, Jonathan has completely earned that right as well. As a spin bowler, you relish opportunities and field placements like these. Was that one slightly misfielded by Jess Walston?
I think it's hit her in the shin. It can be quite painful sometimes, but the way she's moving, I think she's come off okay.
Oh, it's been, though, for Jess Jonathan. 2 for 7. Comparison.
A few people in the YouTube comments rightly highlighting the importance of Ellen here as the anchor, and all of her ability and talent can hold this innings together for Hampshire.
Vitani just jabs that one only as far as Jess Walston. That'll be the end of yet another very economic over. Just 2 runs conceded by Jonathan. Hampshire are 81 for 3 after 20.
Okay, just a little over 4s, but that doesn't tell the full story. The last 8 overs, they've scored at not far over 2s. 19 for 3 from the last 8. I actually think if you're Hampshire, you don't necessarily, you obviously mind that. That's not a good thing. Okay. But you don't necessarily mind scoring slightly slowly for a period of time. A rebuild is needed between these two. from someone who had awful luck with that terrible injury last season, but before then was completely flying. Shown signs of getting back towards that level this season. This time McCacken will get runs, and we'll get 4 of them. Perfectly placed, perfectly timed, completely in control. Slightly short and wide from Blackwell, but classily put away.
Certainly was. Yeah, Maddie Ward, that would have been an almighty chase coming over from deep point. As you said, just very, very well played. Again, looked in complete and utter command of that shot, did McCacken, and she's having a really good season so far, isn't she?
It's strange to think she's only 23. It feels like she's been around for a long old time. Facing a 16-year-old is that time McCacken has launched this over mid-wicket for 4. 2 full, 2 straight, in the shot, in the slot even, back-to-back boundaries.
Yeah, that is quintessential McCacken, something we've seen not only in the One Day Cup, but of course in the T20 Blast. Yeah, just a very entertaining cricketer, someone with an incredibly high ceiling, and, well, for Hampshire, they'll be hoping that they have her services for many, many years to come.
Shorter this time from Blackwell. Is Ward, who's into more of a cover point to that previous shot. And McCacken putting Blackwell under some real pressure there. Blackwell will be much happier getting the chance to bowl at lefty Datani, who's only just come out there.
Time heaved away.
Sweeper again. 10 off 4. And Blackwell has bowled an excellent spell, but you'd have to say, and not just in terms of the runs scored, but the balls that she's bowled, this has possibly been her worst over of the 7. And you can sometimes go for 10, but there's an inside edge or something streaky. It's not really been that story. That's a little too short. It was half stops at mid-wicket. On 99 for 4 off 23. McCacken is looking pretty comfortable at 1 end for 42, but she just needs a consistent partner.
Oh, 100%. At this stage for Hampshire, partnerships, and more partnerships, really. Still got batting to come, but someone just needs to be out there with the established batter. McCacken is providing precisely that role, and let's face it, she has looked $1 million for those 42 so far. Lovely change-ups of shot selection, really nice placement, good timing as well. Just needs someone not to hold down an end, but to just act as the foil to her batting so far. We see Jonathan bowling here to Sweet.
I'm intrigued to see how Sweet goes about this, because she's naturally an aggressive player. You don't get 293 not out, even in a good level club game if you're not. But even in Tier 2, Tier 1, you know, this is someone that likes to take it to the bowlers, but you're taking it to one of Australia's best. As it comes a little wider the crease at the time. You can see there, again, Sweet is looking to deflect into those offside gaps, and she's also looking for those sort of bottom-handed leg side shots more than that more traditional straight driving options. Also just quiet, well, not so quietly, because 3 for 8 off 5.3 is staring at the face in the scoreboard, but what I mean is just quickly building those dots. The over is, is half gone before you can blink. 3 dots in a row. Gives that one a bit more flight to tempt and tease. You see the bottom hand of Sweet coming through, gets it towards deep mid-wicket. She's pierced the gap between mid-wicket and long on, and that gives her the chance to come back for 2.
Just from memory as well, I don't think Jonathan has conceded a boundary.
No.
Yet. I think all of them have come from either singles or, in that case, a 2.
Gives that one more flight to try to tempt Sweet in. Sweet, she's had a funny old winter. So she signed with Glamorgan for 2026. Then Hampshire, after she came on trial with them in January, said, hang on a minute, we think you're quite good, we like you. Sweet this time will get 1 to deep cover. And you know, the allure of playing Tier 1 cricket and signing a 2-year professional deal, of course, pretty hard to resist. So she signs that 2-year deal with Hampshire, but then has gone back on loan to Glamorgan, potentially for games this summer where she's not playing for Hampshire as she is here. She played the first couple of games of the season. She's missed the last 3 with the England players being back in different forms, and then she's back today.
Yeah, and we've seen quite a few cricketers for whom that's the case. Just keeps them sharp and match ready, doesn't it, by playing that Tier 2 cricket.
Yeah, Rebecca Duckworth got a ton on loan for Derbyshire not too long ago. Her and Rhea Fackrell for Yorkshire are doing a version of this. Fackrell hasn't played yet for Yorkshire this season in Tier 1. Single just wide of ball at mid-off. Goes round to field.
Of course, Poppy Tulloch for Hampshire as well. She spent quite a bit of time on loan at Glamorgan.
She's a right bowler. Very bustling, very muscular, like bowls a heavy ball. Just push that through a little quicker. She's remodelled her action over the winter, Claudie Cooper. She in her own words, she said, change my action to try and spin it more because that's my job. She's always someone for a good non-bog standard quote in the interview. A lively personality. It's into the gap once more for a single. She also may well win the award for having the most dedicated family support of any current professional sports person, Claudie Cooper, because, and I only found this out after the tie against Durham that Yorkshire had at Scarborough. This is guided away. Big chase needed for Boyce, who might just get there. Will just get there. Again, you're seeing the outfield make the difference in terms of slowing that ball up. And it actually came back due to a chance encounter in a fish and chip shot, which it turned out, as I was getting my fish and chips, so were Claudie Cooper's parents, Lauren and Mark. And I found out from chatting to them, they come to pretty much every game from London.
Wow.
And not just them, often other family members as well. They've got a whole spreadsheet for when she's playing, and now she's in the Sunrisers Leeds team for the 100. They've got a whole other, adding those games into said spreadsheet to come and watch. That's guided back. And it's not just them, they're sort of your core 2, but others will come on top. So that's the end of Cooper's over, 107 for 4, and reasonably over. 5 runs off it, and that's Drinks with the run rate at 4.28. They are some of the most dedicated supporters in the country, the Coopers. Think of those football fans that chant about "We will follow you wherever you will go." Well, travelling halfway across the country and doing so is quite something. Intriguing passage of play there, because Hampshire were 62 without loss after 12, but now find themselves at Drinks in a bit of bother. 107 for 4, 45 for 4 off 13 overs. That's Blackwell, a big reason why. McCacken and Southby got going very nicely. Both openers got into rhythm. Southby made 31 off 36, her best score of the season so far, having had a tough start to it. And after Blackwell got the breakthrough when Southby found Langston in the deep, Yorkshire have managed to pick up a few more wickets since, which naturally is going to put a smile on the face of Yorkshire President Dr. Jane Powell, who's just settled into the seat back alongside me. What have you made of what we've seen so far?
I think both teams will be reasonably content at the moment. I don't think either team would be ecstatically happy, you know, because Hampshire have built a good platform here that with 20 overs left, you know, they can really just start to up the game now. And Yorkshire know that they've got to be really on the ball in this last 20 overs. The minute you start shortening 50 over games, it puts quite a different complex on the competition, because mindsets change. And now you're down to 20 overs, you know, you're starting to think about, I wouldn't say bat with more intent, because I think they've been trying to bat with intent, but the field placings become crucial for Lauren Winfield Hill. The bowling lines in particular, as well as the lengths, become key. But, you know, Yorkshire came back into it because I thought Hampshire started very strongly, and to get to that situation where they were 60-odd runs without 62 for no wicket, you know, for Yorkshire to pull it back to 4 wickets down, 107, that's put a slightly different complex on the game. So neither team will be extremely happy, but both will be content at this stage, and both look to push on from this moment on. And as I say that, I'm looking over to my right, and there's a dirty, great, big black cloud.
You've been the optimist for the weather today, so I didn't want to sound like the Grinch at Christmas again. But
you've got to be realist.
The wind, I can see from people's hair in front of us, because we're actually inside the pavilion and not inside. People's hair is sort of cartwheeling around. The flags are truly a fluttering, and tends to come from behind that rugby ground end, and that is coming closer and closer, and depressingly only looks more and more ominous, unfortunately.
Yeah, Yorkshire staff member Anna Spencer is running to get more layers or get under cover, I think. You can see she's running around the field there as or get under cover, I think. You can see she's running around the field there as we look to reconvene here, and it's Maddie Ward coming on from the city end.
Yeah, I'm intrigued about this, taking Jonathan off. Maybe they'd like to have her up their sleeve as an option for the death. That's a loosener from Ward. In truth, a bit of a horrid delivery, and it gets swiped away for 4 by Sweet from the first ball after drinks.
Yeah, and that's that ball there is just I think she got away. It just dropped, so it wasn't a no ball height, but sometimes when you're playing youngsters, they don't have the consistency that you'd want, especially as after drinks. So comes in, and that's much better. The second ball.
সকালের শুরুতেই চাই পরোটা চিকেন স্যুপ অমলেট আর ঝাল ফ্রাই সারা পিৎজা ব্রেকফাস্ট মানে দিনের শুরুটা পারফেক্ট ফ্রেন্ডস ফুর্তি হ্যাংআউট লাঞ্চ টাইমে চিল আউট সারা পিৎজা সাশ্রয়ী লাঞ্চ মেনুর স্বাদে এক কথায় বাজি মাত সন্ধ্যায় ফ্যামিলির সাথে আড্ডা মাতে পিৎজা ডেজার্ট আর ড্রিঙ্কসের সাথে সারাদিন সারা পিৎজা এরকম কত মোমেন্ট সাজে সারা পিৎজা জড়িয়ে থাক আপনার খুশির মাঝে তুরস্ক টু বাংলাদেশ সাপ্লাই চলে সারা দেশ
আইগ্যাস ইউনাইটেড ইন্টারন্যাশনাল সোর্সিং ও শক্তিশালী সাপ্লাই চেইনের মাধ্যমে নিশ্চিত করে সারা দেশের নিরবচ্ছিন্ন এলপিজি সরবরাহ।
আইগ্যাস ইউনাইটেড
Still trying to find her rhythm. Sweet mistimes. Can't make contact. Maddie Ward, who does a bit of everything for Yorkshire, was kind of found out almost accidentally as a bowler, though, in some pre-season work before the start of last season. That time he's cut away, and that's beaten Hall, who's got a big chase on what is a like sopping wet outfield. Going to comfortably get back for 2, and they could have looked at a third, because just the way Grace Hall's pulled up there, throw was a little bit awkward. She has, of course, had that year out with a shoulder problem. She's holding that right shoulder. Hopefully it's nothing of too much concern. We haven't seen her with the ball yet, despite 6 options used by Yorkshire. And flatter from Ward. Out for 1 more. Maddie Ward, who so far this season with the ball has picked up 3 for 38, including 2 in 2 in the game against Surrey at the Oval, and then got a wicket against Lancashire and 1 against Durham.
Change of field. Grace Hall's been moved into short cover. They take a quick single by working it round onto the leg side.
That being said, I think you can actually make a case as Ward completes her first over, 8 off it, 1-1-5 for 4, that Ward's best spell of the season was actually the spell against Essex, because even though she didn't pick up a wicket, in the absence of Jess Jonathan, Yorkshire really needed Ward to step up. She bowled a full 10 overs and she went for just 32, which is exceptionally tight in the modern Metrobank One Day Cup 50 over game. So Ward should be feeling confident with the ball.
Yeah, no, she's a good young player. But even good young players can sometimes not bowl as tightly as they wish, as Claudie Cooper comes on now from the rugby stand end.
She's got the 10 off her first 2, Cooper. And nearing the milestone, it would be her second 50 of the season, 90 against Essex, and then scores of it 11, 44, 30 and 13 since. Just blocking that one. Of course, he was involved in the England development 11 as well. Last week against New Zealand at Durham. Took 1 for 46 off 10. And this time cut away. Chase out there for Ward. Comfortable too.
I'm intrigued to see that the cover fielders are Beth Langston and Maddie Ward. You know, it's nice that they've put the youngsters out in the outfield, isn't it? Beth Langston will like me to say that, you know, as she runs around that outfield.
Do you wonder how much longer we're going to get here? I know you might be confused seeing sunshine in your pictures, but in the direction the weather comes, it does not look great. Continuing. We have, of course, seen already twice today that it can change so quickly in pretty much a matter of seconds. So the rain starts thumbling down again. Not too surprised. Full from Cooper, straight at Paul. And remember, we will be losing overs instantly if we go off. Such is the nature of this, reduced to a 45 over a side contest now. Second bit more flight, Cooper trying to tempt Sweet. End of the over, nice tight one from Cooper. Free off it, 118 for 4 of 27.
Yeah, good over from Claudie Cooper there, keeping a nice tight line and length, backed up by some good field placings by Lauren Winfield Hill, which restricted the runs in that over. And they'll be wanting to keep it tight as they move into the next over. There's only 18 overs left.
Yeah, and you're right. You said this a little while back about the rhythms of the game. You just lose a few of those middle overs, and just that slightly greater need for urgency. Ward into a second. And drives down the ground for 1. Elsewhere, Lancashire have brought up their 100. That's Southport, 100 for 2 off 21. Maddie Penner and Ellie Frelkeld out there right now. Somerset having a much tougher day with the bat. Here's the cut. Straight to the ever-reliable Jonathan at point. Somerset rebuilding quite nicely. Annika Leroyd, 80 not out. 163 for 5 off 42. Trying to fight their way to a good score against the table-topping Blaze. Sweep missed by Sweet. Ward will have to re-bowl.
Good take by Lauren Winfield Hill there. It's drifting down leg side, and she kept her, for all you budding wicket keepers out there, kept her head still, took her hands to the ball, and easily took that one, which is the most difficult one to take.
This time Sweet will get single up to cover. In for it, West Chiltingham and Fakenham CC. Then she was actually came for it Sussex in the county setup since she was under 12 and signed for Leicestershire last season. Hampshire this season.
Yeah, I think there's a good pathway for a number of girls now that they can go via Tier 3 or Tier 2 and make a name for themselves and be picked up by Tier 1. And that's a real bonus for the women's game, as that's work round backward of square straight to Innes Blackwell, and there's 1 run.
And of course the lack of relegation with that creates a different dynamic to, say, men's cricket. Glamorgan will come up next season to make it 10 teams in that Tier 1. So there'll be 10 in Tier 1 and then 8 in Tier 2. It's a 9 and 9 split this season. Finishing off for over, and another single to finish it. The 5th of the over to go with the wide 6. In total, 124 for 4 off 28. After a few more filts from Dr. Jane Powell, she'll be joined by Ella.
Yeah, good 50 there from Ella McCacken. You know, she's ridden her luck out there. She's played some extremely good shots, both sides of the wicket, and brings up her 50 quite nicely off 64 balls. and has played a good anchor innings for Hampshire. I think going back to the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, you know, I think I'm a bit harsh because I think we should have promotion and relegation, because I think the only way you start to see how some players deal with pressure is by putting them in pressure situations. And one of the factors for young girls coming through is they very rarely play any game that really means anything. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, DJP. That one given plenty of flight by Claudie Cooper. Yeah, adds to the excitement as well, doesn't it? Of course, we see that in the Men's County Championship. The degree of jeopardy, I think that's how I'd describe it.
But also the County Cup, that's one of the great things about it. Is that's driven down to long on, where Sturkallis comes in off the boundary for them to take a single. I'm going to predict about 5 minutes max, 10 minutes before it's pouring down.
Have you noticed the rotation though? It's been us every
Yes.
time, hasn't it?
I think I'm going to be a meteorologist after this weekend. Much as I hate it, I'd prefer it to be sunshine and a full game, because that's hit through the covers, but the one-handed Jess Jonathan just sticks that hand out and stops the ball, which was a slightly shorter ball. So Cooper will be wanting to put a bit more air onto it. She half slog sweeps that out to the mid-wicket boundary, square leg, and Beth Langston picks that up, and there's 2 runs there.
Indeed they are. That is the end of the over then. So after 29, Hampshire 127 for 4.
The umpires are looking at each other here, but continuing. Majority of people out on the ground are making their way towards a covered area, just to give you all a clue back there.
Yeah, you can see the rain just starting to come down. A bit heavier here. Maddie Ward bowls here to Ella McCacken. McCacken straight to Campbell. What another brilliant catch that is. As the rain continues to fall, so too do wickets. It's a 5th one for Hampshire. The Rose and Crown 127 for 5, and that is a big wicket. McCacken departs for an excellent 51.
And it's that management of the game, because the rain's coming down. That's the 2nd time that Hampshire have lost a wicket just as the rain starts to come down. And that's game management. That's nothing to do with shot choices. It's all about game management. Did you really need to play that shot knowing that you're going to be coming off the pitch after 1 ball? And as I say that, they're all walking off because the rain comes down, and that'll be a disappointment for Hampshire, because they wouldn't want to have lost the inform or set-in batter of Ella McCucken, who's on 51, and she's now gone. Caught very well by Amy Campbell, who I could argue she couldn't get out the way of it, if I'm honest, but she took it extremely well. It was hit firmly and both hands to it and took the catch.
It was a really good catch, wasn't it, by Amy Campbell? Very much a reflex catch, I think that's how we would describe it. But yeah, unfortunately, we are off for rain here at Clifton Park again. The weather, a little bit of spoil sport in. It's been a stop-start day of action here in Yorkshire so far. So we will take a break here in the commentary box, and when we return, we'll be providing you with all of the action as Hampshire hope to continue their innings. The Rose and Crown 127 for 5 at the start of the 30th over.
বিশ্বের 1 নম্বর ব্র্যান্ড হায়ার এয়ার কন্ডিশনারের ফাস্ট কুলিং ফিচার দিচ্ছে শীতল প্রশান্তি। সাথে স্মার্ট ইউভি টেকনোলজি কোভিড সহ বাতাসে থাকা সব ভাইরাস ও ব্যাকটেরিয়াকে 99.99% পর্যন্ত ধ্বংস করে দেয়। আর এর অত্যাধুনিক আইওটি টেকনোলজি সমৃদ্ধ মোবাইল অ্যাপ এবং ওয়াইফাই এর মাধ্যমে রিমোট ছাড়াই অন অফ সুবিধা সহ দেয় 65% পর্যন্ত এনার্জি সেভিংস। ফলে বিশুদ্ধ ও ধুলোবালিবিহীন স্বাস্থ্যকর বাতাসের পাশাপাশি দারুণ সাশ্রয়ী হায়ার ইউভি কুল স্মার্ট এসি।
তোমাদের সাইডে ফাইট আরিনা এখন পুরো রেডি ব্রো লকড ইন মাইন্ডসেট লেটস গো A1 বাংলাদেশের হ্যাট্রিক চ্যাম্পিয়ন চির হবে ওয়ার্ল্ড স্টেজে সাপোর্ট ফুল অন মেইন ক্যারেক্টার এনার্জি দ্য হিস্টোরি গড়বো গ্লোবাল ব্যাটল জিতে সেলিব্রেট করবো নো হোল্ড ব্যাক ফুল অন রিলিফ তোমাদের উইন আমাদের বিলিভ A1 বাংলাদেশের হ্যাট্রিক চ্যাম্পিয়ন চির হবে ওয়ার্ল্ড স্টেজে সাপোর্ট ফুল অন
England, well, you lost 20 of these. 26 is you lost them. You better go and find them, lads. What a delivery. Beautiful delivery. Tell me how many balls they got before this competition. How many did they have to buy? 180. Good if you play in darts. That triple 20. Triple 20, you beauty, jackpot 180.
It's a very good over so far. 5 balls down. Can he get out of the over without getting hit for a 6? It's a fantastic over if he can.
Yeah, really good over. He was praised by Jofra Archer when he bowled at England's side in 2022, and what an over that is in quarter-final number 4. 1 over done. Bangladesh 9 without loss. My team are playing later, Stoke City, in the Championship back in England. Big local rivals take on Derby. I live in Derby now, originally from Stoke. Look away if you're an English fan. Surely you could have gone home. Well, you could have gone home yesterday.
Supporters, they follow you through thick and thin, mate.
Beautiful place to watch cricket. Lovely shot. First 6 of quarter-final number 4. I don't want to even know how many 6s have been hit today. Here we go. 4-3-1. Ridiculous.
Just missed his length by a fraction, and we've seen They are rare. I reckon we can count on two hands maybe how many dots we've had.
And you know, after the first couple of games, I thought perhaps this surface is not going to be as good, and maybe we're not going to see as many sixes. I was wrong.
You were wrong. Yeah, no, the hitting that's been on display today, it's been absolutely outstanding.
We've still got a day to go. Teams looking to win the trophy, the cup. Teams looking to win the bowl as well. What an end we're having to day two. We talked about the light. If the light gets bad enough that the umpires have to take the players off, then in that second innings, it constitutes a game after 2 overs. So important that the chasing side, which is the UAE, keep an eye on Duckworth Lewis Stern. Not DLS. And I'll have to be bold again. Separate system to DLS, not using that, but they'll still have to keep an eye on it going into that second over if it does get dark.
Yeah, well, let's keep our fingers crossed that we can get through this full fixture, because these two teams, they deserve to be here the way they've played so far, and hopefully this will go through to the distance.
Nicely down the ground. And bisects both long on and long off. Great to see the crowds coming in. Good for Hong Kong cricket as well to get the crowds in. You've been here, you know how important it is for the region.
100%. You need people talking about the game. We've had plenty of people, the corporates have been in,
18 runs from the first 5 deliveries, a ball left. Decent delivery. Little bit of swing back in. They'll pick up 2. And a better over for Bangladesh. 20 from it. 2 overs are done. And they are 29 without loss. Sun is dropping quickly. No twilight here, it just goes. Still 3 overs left in this first innings of the 4th quarter final. Bangladesh put into bat by the UAE. Zahor with a decent first delivery. Little bit of swing. We've seen that ever so often with certain bowlers.
Yeah, 100%. Especially this morning when there was some overcast conditions, the cloud has burnt off this afternoon. But Zahor's known for bowling his death skills for the UAE. He's done it for such a long time. He'll be trying to bowl 6 out of 6 Yorkers here.
Isn't that a Yorker? This is powered down the ground in front of us. It will be a boundary. You just tell that is his natural way of pushing it back in. He loses a little bit of height, pushes away towards his left side and pushes it in.
And like we've seen, you don't have to miss by much. At least though he was full enough that the Bangladeshi batter there couldn't get any elevation. Keep it as full as you can.
Does he get it into the gap? You bet he does. Trying to get that Yorker in. Zahor Khan. Spent a lot of time as a net bowler with the Mumbai Indians in IPL 2020. Featured in the Pakistan Super misses it. Or I should say he missed it. Bit unfair, he's already left. Decent player, I've got to be nice to. I'll be nice to Niall O'Brien now he's not here. Good wicket keeper, decent player.
But again, good skills from Zohor there. It's the KCC box. One of the massive clubs here in
There you go again.
Hong Kong. Powerhouse.
Any chance that was your club, the amount of times you mentioned the Kowloon Cricket Club?
Might have been there once or twice.
What a hospitality easy for me to say we had last night. Lovely group of people, nice food, some nice refreshments, rehydrated really well last night. Made to feel very welcome wherever we are in Hong Kong. Beautiful, lovely flourish, high backlift, massive six.
Massive hit. Just got his line wrong. Again, one of those situations that I'm really interested in your thoughts on this, Corky, that a lot of times the left-handers now, fast bowlers go straight around the wicket, where I got a feeling that you're bowling into their arc.
Yeah, create the angle from over and go across them. If somebody keeps cutting you and hitting you back the point, okay, but you're right. You've got to bowl wide, but also it's coming in from that angle. You're spot on. I never liked going round the wicket. 16 runs from the over, 3 gone, 45 without loss. Already know 3 in tomorrow's semi-final. Australia take on Pakistan, 12:50 local time. 13:45 Sri Lanka. Well, who are they going to take on? Bangladesh or the UAE? 45 without loss from 3. Zuhaib then. Bit of spin. Lovely. Lovely. Should have been run out, really.
Good length from the young lady. Every to use the facilities, that's for sure. We've spoken how wonderful this wicket is. If it doesn't bounce, generally you're going to get met.
Just gone a little bit darker as well. Sun is dropping quickly here. And just to remind you that in the second innings it constitutes a game after 2 overs. UAE will have to keep an eye on where they need to be. And the way that Bangladesh are going in this over, it could be a big total they're chasing down.
Yeah, bowler under pressure now. 2 in a row. Again, got his length. Probably his line just a tad wrong. And he pays the ultimate price.
Yeah, go with that dot ball, first ball, the next 2 gone out of the park. Comes off his pad and the wicketkeeper does well, slips a bit towards the end. You'd expect that, maybe a bit of dew forming as the night draws in, stops the boundary. You coaches, you love it, don't you?
I
Love making notes.
I'm always intrigued to know what people write in there, because sometimes I don't know what to write, so I just think I say to myself, just write something so the guys think I'm doing something.
Well, I coached for, 3 or 4 years at Derbyshire. I never made a note. Just got the stats man to tell me what we need to do to win games. High in the air. Long off, gets underneath it. Takes it. Partnership comes to an end for Bangladesh, and UAE have their first wicket.
And it's a big one. They needed to break that partnership. Al Mamoon, 31 of just 11 deliveries. Just couldn't get enough length on the shot. Bangladesh 59 for 1.
Mohamed Saifuddin then. Balls left in the innings. Projected score from here 123. That's too many from here.
Be a good get. End of the 4th, it's 60 for 1.
really good day. Day 2 today started off by Nepal, who beat Australia in the opening game. We saw England get off the mark and beat India, who haven't won a game. Australia were the first into the quarterfinals, then Pakistan. Sri Lanka, the other team. At the moment, these two teams battling it out. Ryan Campbell, can UAE keep Bangladesh under 100?
Well, Zahoor's been brought back for his second over. Delivers his Yorker exactly where he wants it. But so skillful are these batters. He costs 4, even though he probably got his Yorker exactly where he wanted it.
And we were talking about it earlier, that the angle that you create as a bowler from round the wicket, it isn't an English type of way of bowling at left-handers. Duncan Fletcher was the coach who came in, the Zimbabwean, former Zimbabwean international, who as coach said to all the England bowlers, try and go round the wicket as early as you can to left-handers. Sometimes I don't agree.
Yeah, I just get a feeling at times you're just bowling into their wheelhouse. Most lefties love to hit the ball on the onside, and that natural angle coming into their pads causes them no issue.
There you're talking about it. Into that wheelhouse, clips, leg side. I don't mind it in test match cricket because you don't expect shots like this. But in the shorter form, and with only having 4 fielders, just creates the angle.
Yeah, no room for error, that's for sure. That's definitely a 6. You can add a couple there. Put your hands up, thank you, sir. Right, halfway through this 5th over, the UAE suddenly under a bit of pressure.
And that projected score just keeps changing. Sure, Bangladesh from here are thinking, what have we got left here? We've got 8 balls left. Can we get, off those 8 balls, more than 23, get into the 3 figures? And like the last 10 teams have done in this competition, set a total and defend it.
Yeah. What will they be comfortable with? 100, 105. UAE, what would they be comfortable with? 96, 97 would be awesome.
A little bit of a drop from the wicketkeeper. Batter wanted a wide, it's given a bye. Yeah, you've got to feel a little bit for the UAE. They're in a quarter-final, and if the light drops, then they'll have to try. If the umpires think that it's gone too dark, they'll have to try and get to whatever total they need to get to in 2 overs. If I'm the UAE captain, if I'm there in the middle, I'm saying it's fine. If I'm behind, we're carrying on, even after 2 overs, even if it's pitch black and you can't see, keep coming. Chance of a semi-final. Nice shot. Strong, powerful, big over for Bangladesh. 24 from it, 5 overs are done, and they're 84 for 1. It's a great sight, seeing the children coming in with that little baton. She's probably got a couple of autographs. And also supports a really fantastic nation at football. Yes, you smile. What a team we've got. 1966, we still go on
so
about
you
it.
still remember that
You
66.
beauty, get in there. They think it's all over. It is now. Have to bowl that again.
All I ever hear when I'm in England, that apparently it's coming home.
Come on, of course it's coming home. We'll just keep